Hello, everybody. Make sure that I'm on here live this morning. Live video is starting. Good morning, everybody. My name is Brenda Lee Kitchen, and I am the coordinator of Protect NL. Today is Friday, May 15th, and we're trying something new. This is called Flash Fridays. It's a 15-minute update on important information that we feel that you need to know. We're going to try to cover 5 topics this morning in 15 minutes, and they're all very important. And after this live, please share. For anybody that would like a more interactive or enjoy speaking or want to ask questions or make comments, please by all means join us on Sunday evenings at 8 p.m. They're much more relaxed. You get an opportunity to ask questions. We can interact and do our best to help you out as we continue to move forward to protect Newfoundland and Labrador. It's really important that we continue to try different things, different avenues, and take different forms of action, because the people of Newfoundland and Labrador, what we are facing is a very dire situation. And if you know what's happening, you know. And if you don't know, then we are so grateful that you are here to learn about what's happening. And again, we ask you to please share if you are able to, and continue to be involved as much as you possibly can. The first topic that we are going to talk about here this morning is New World Dairy. New World Dairy is a farm out here in Maidstone on the west coast, Newfoundland. It was started by Wilson Chaffee in 1969. In about the 1990s, Brent Chaffee, his son, took over. In 2022, it was quoted that they have about 40 employees. They're a very big farm. They're one of the biggest farms in Canada, biggest dairy farms, and they've also recently started raising beef. They were known as Chaffee's Farm, but then they changed their name to New World Dairy. And then when they started their beef production, they call that New World Beef. And I just want to remind people of another title of an organization that we all know about called New World Order. And I just want to raise the similarities there. And I'm also going to share something that they say is these people hide in plain sight. So New World Dairy has been in our area for quite a long time. I did say it started in 1969. And Sharon Pickett is a lady that lives close to this farm. She's been raising awareness for a long time, and especially when the farm decided to start taking the dead fish from the salmon farms. And the farm has a digester where they burn these fish. And the rotten smell of these fish being transported has been a really horrible experience for the people living in the area. So Sharon Pickett has been trying for a long time to raise awareness, get the government to take action about this health issue, and it's a huge impact on the people living in the area, and not just in Maidstone, because the smell can reach to the nearby communities as well. It's been very challenging because New World Dairy also, because it has jobs and we are a small community, there has been a lot of bullying, and people tend to want to shut you off when you try to speak the truth. And it's been similar as well with New World Dairy. People are worried about jobs, 40 jobs in 2022, and they're also worried that we're going to lose this big industry in our area. But these big industries have to be held accountable. There's no reason why they should be, doing, many think that they're doing what they want. And we need to have our eyes on New World Dairy. And the reason why I'm bringing this up now is because Denise Gillum-Kelly has released video evidence and photos of New World Dairy releasing, I don't know what they're releasing, but it's going straight into the ocean. The video is very clear. It comes down from the farm going into the ocean. Denise Gillum-Kelly has raised a lot of really important issues. And remember, it's salmon, farmed salmon, the dead farm salmon is what's being trucked. Sometimes Sharon has said there could be as many as 6 trucks a day. And when the fish is being put to our understanding, and please, if anybody has more information on this, we'd love for you to share it. The fish are being burned in a digester. New World Dairy actually makes their own electricity from this digester. It's a $5 million digester that breaks down cow manure and produces their own power. This came to be in 2013. And yeah, so they create their own electricity. They only need about 25%. They were hoping to sell some back. I don't know what happened there, but this is where the salmon, to my understanding, is being burned. They've recently started mixing the salmon with cow manure, and that's why it's going into the digester to make their power. Again, if you have more information, I'd love to hear it. And Denise has raised that when this becomes airborne, hydrogen sulfide, ammonia, methane, sulfur compounds is being released in the air. The exposure to this airborne waste is headaches, nausea, dizziness, throat and eye irritation, respiratory discomfort, and breathing difficulties. The residents of that area has been demanding for quite some time now. This has gone back for a while now with Sharon Pickett. They've been demanding air quality testing, water and sediment testing, transport manifest and waste records, environmental reports and compliance records, impacts on marine life and wildlife, as well as public health. If you go over to Denise Gillum Kelly, and it's also in our public Facebook group, Protect NL, then you will see the video evidence that she has shown of this waste, as well as being airborne, is being released directly into the oceans. What is, people fish off of highlands. So what is the impact that this waste is having into oceans? Video evidence has been brought to the government, and the government claimed that this video evidence has been modified, and they won't do anything about it. So this is the first issue that I wanted to raise with New World Dairy. And I will also add that I've been asked to help out on another issue of the way that they dispose their cows. Now, they've been quoted as saying they have 3,000 cows. I've heard a lot of numbers. You drive down there, there has to be more than that. And they dispose of their dead cows in some sort of, I've been told, in some sort of open field. They're just tossing them. They're not burying them. This has resulted in a lot of coyotes and wildlife coming around. It isn't safe for walkers. And I told the person, look, take me down there on your quad and I will video it and I will make it public. But people are afraid. Again, this is out in Bay St. George South. This is the community as well that I live in. And we know that the bullying has gotten very bad out here when some of us tried to speak up about concerns about Peggy Margaret White, as well as the wind turbines. And now people are concerned as well about New World Dairy and speaking out. So it's very important that we look at our health. And these big companies, we're not saying we don't want these big companies around, but they have to be held accountable. So that's our first topic, New World Dairy. The second topic that we need to talk about here this morning is EVREC. EVREC is the wind to hydrogen energy mega project that is moving forward in Central. It's very unfortunate that they've recruited Andrew Parsons to be their lobbyist to get them federal funding. And that sort of information and background knowledge that man has, and then you combine that with Ravi Sud, who has been known for, what we would think is criminal behavior. Robert Loader has done a lot of work at exposing this man, and it's just ridiculous. We are very worried that EVREC is going to be one of the companies that are going to be able to move ahead and actually get their project off the ground. Again, they are the ones that are moving into the hydrogen as well as the turbines. The people in Central, you have to show that there is pushback boots on the ground. And Facebook comments, changing a profile picture, that's fine for raising awareness with other people, but that is not going to worry the government or put any pressure on this company. You need to be taking physical action. We're really concerned that the people in Central are falling for distraction techniques and deflection tactics. Halapu, Colleen Paul had spoke up in opposition, but has done nothing since. And we all know that Halapu is supporting the progress of these projects. Leanna Paul, also of Halapu, volunteered to do a survey or a petition, get people to sign and say how much that they were against the projects. Nothing ever happened. We're really worried about the people in Central. If they do not take any physical action, that they very well may be the group that is going to be setting the example of what is truly going to happen when these wind turbines and hydrogen plants get constructed and off the ground. So that if you know anybody that lives in Central, and I think we should all be fighting for everybody everywhere, but it's particularly important for the people in that area to show that those that are living boots on the ground, They are the true stakeholders, and they are against these projects. We really hope that you'll be heading to the Energy NL conference. There is one in St. John's, June 2nd, 3rd, and 4th. Ravi Sud will be there on the 4th. We're hoping that the people in Central will pull themselves together, get in there for June 4th, and start pushing back. If you don't go in there, if there's nobody into that Energy NL conference, they will change the narrative so that it fits their own agenda. They'll simply say that they won the people over. That's my guess now, because this is what we've been seeing, and it's been a repeated behavior. EVERWIND and the Energy Board. EVERWIND is the company on the Burin Peninsula that is still on the books, still continuing to move forward, and they are still working with the Energy Board. The Energy Board is a group that had been formed, and within 5 days or 6 days of them forming, gave support to this company without discussing anything with the people of the Burin Peninsula. EVERWIND is still moving forward. They're downsizing the projects, though, because they're taking it out of the communities, they're claiming, taking it out of the communities that have said no, and they're focusing on the communities that have not had a vote. So you have to know that the company on the Burin Peninsula is still moving ahead. That Energy Board needs to be dissolved immediately. Govt Shenanigans. They're only in the House of Assembly for about 3 months here, and then again in October, November. And all they're doing the whole time is wasting time. And they're wasting your time because they're deflecting from the issues. If they're in there, they need to be talking about the Churchill Falls MOU. Wasn't that set to be released? That's set to be released on May 19th. So we need to make sure that they don't continue to waste time and energy. They wasted time talking about Andrea Babar and totally neglected the whole AI issue. Why not simply say no AI in government? They have a policy already in place, and that wasn't even raised in the House of Assembly. Instead, it was theatrical. There was tears, there was crying. We think, yeah, totally, people's behavior needs to be cleaned up, but don't waste our time in the House of Assembly. Stick to the issues. And did you know that the government did promise renewable energy legislation in November of 2023? That has not been discussed at all in the House of Assembly. So all they're doing in the House of Assembly now is wasting time. So please, and then to bring up the bonuses, is Lloyd Parrott actually going to do anything about this? It's just about wasting time. People, do not follow them around like you're on a string. Don't follow them from topic to topic. You keep your eye on the ball and keep asking questions that are very, very important and to the issue. Churchill Falls MOU. What's going to happen there? We need to talk about that. We need to talk about legislation. Where is the renewable energy legislation? And then the final thing that I was going to talk about today is this map. Oh, right before I get to the map, because I have a minute, I want you to know that Paul Pike, and a huge thank you to Paul Pike. He's absolutely fantastic. Paul Pike wrote got a response back from Eric Watton, who's a senior environmental scientist, reminding us and confirming that ABO, EVERWIND, and World Energy GH2, they all have that crown lands for a period of 3 years. So even though Lloyd Parrott talked about them not paying and losing their crown lands, they have not lost their crown lands. Paul Pike has evidence here from Eric Watton saying that they still have all these crown lands for a period of 3 years. So what is Lloyd Parrott up to? Okay, I got 1 more minute. I want to show you another map. There's something now. Newfoundland and Labrador, we know that we have Indigenous lineage here on our island. Yes, 100%. But, I just want to say, and I would never be looking into this issue the way that I am if it wasn't for Peggy Margaret White. Peggy Margaret White, who started a not-for-profit here in our area, claiming to have 400 and 500 Mi'kmaq in her band. She's had taken over $1 million of our tax-paying dollars. While she has a not-for-profit, she has several corporations that also can hold money and make money. She claims land sovereignty. Halipoo doesn't even make claims to land. Conn River is the only group that has land claims. I see that it's 9:15. Again, I just want to show you this map, and I'm going to clue right up here. This is a map that's been recently released by Mildred Lavers. by the Newfoundland Indigenous Peoples Alliance. And they have the province, and this map was created a while ago, and they were actually didn't have any sections, any zones in Avalon Peninsula, Burin Peninsula, or the Great Northern Peninsula, and now they have the entire province carved up. And we are very concerned that there are people out there that are faking Indigenous lineage to simply get the benefits, grab the land, and we are very, very concerned that many of these people are being abused by government to simply as a land grab. So are all of these Indigenous groups going to start claiming land? Because Jason Benoit is claiming land sovereignty. Peggy Margaret White is claiming land sovereignty. Jason Benoit is claiming that there is a Indian burial ground out in Kippens, and this is on people's private land. So you have to find out what this land sovereignty means, and how do these not-for-profits make claims to the land, and Peggy Margaret White claims officials all the way down to Port aux Basques. You know, what's happening here? We're very concerned. We should all be Newfoundlanders and Labradorians first. We're all one. We are all one. We don't know, and we don't understand what's happening when all of these Indigenous claims are coming forward and land sovereignty. I encourage you all to look further in each and every issue that I've raised here today. I'm not claiming to be a know-it-all. I'm not claiming that there are no Indigenous lineage in Newfoundland. I'm not claiming any of those things, but I am very, very concerned about what's happening in our province. We have to continue to raise awareness. There is a power to the people. We are so amazing and so strong when we can come together, but you have to come together. Putting your head in the sand is not going to make any of this go away. You're just going to look up one day and you're going to lose rights to your land because there's going to be a claim of something. I heard people have been writing me and telling me that you can't even sell your land or sell your own property if there is a land sovereignty claim on there from First Nations, people like Peggy Margaret White, Jason Benoit. So what's going on up on the Great Northern Peninsula? What is the Newfoundland Indigenous Peoples Alliance up to? Let's hear some answers. And before I head off, is 9:17. That's not too bad. But before I head off, please, I'm going to throw out one more thing. Do not fall for the distraction techniques and tactics. I mean, we call them the dirty D's. So if you contact Mildred Lavers and you ask her what that map is about, you know, and if she spends the first 5-10 minutes shitting on Brenda Kitchen, you have to know that that's a distraction technique. Get her to answer the questions. What does the map mean? Are you claiming that all of these areas of Newfoundland and Labrador are Mi'kmaq? Where does the Beothuk fall in here? I'm going to remind people one more thing. When I started going to World Energy GH2 meetings, they left out the Beothuk. These companies were leaving out the Beothuk. They were attempting to write the Beothuk out of the history. It was only the people who had Beothuk lineage and knew the real history that started fighting back and pushing back. And then they started getting recognized in these the opening land acknowledgement prayers. So again, my name is Brenda Lee Kitchen. I'm the coordinator for Protect NL. I'm never going to shut up. I love Newfoundland and Labrador. My love for this province and the people who live here is infinite. I believe in the power of the people, and many of us do. You have to consider what is happening on the island. Do your own research, and in Labrador, do your own research and take action. Action is key, and being on Facebook is great to help raise awareness, but it's not going to be enough to stop what's happening or to influence the government. We have to continue moving forward, and we have to continue moving forward together. Thank you to everybody that's tuned in here. Please, 20 minutes, that's not too bad, and I'll get better. So if you want something more interactive, join us Sunday night at 8 p.m. And meanwhile, I'll get off here. Please share, share, share. I love you so much.